This was obviously a very difficult decision for all of us to make, but we made it based on the kinds of things we were hearing from both the federal and provincial governments, our local regional medical officer of health, discussions with a lot of the organizing committees, because many of our festivals aren't corporately run, but rather community run, and recognizing that a decision needed to be made within an appropriate planning window to allow them to not see a lot of work happen and ultimately potentially be put to waste. So it really depends on the event organizers. Some event organizers have decided, because of the uncertainty of this summer, that they're going to hold off until 2021 and come out bigger and better in that year. Other events were exploring possibilities of moving those events to later in the summer, in July or more likely August or September. So Summer Lights, as an example, is potentially looking at September, while Multicultural has decided they'll wait until 2021. Well, certainly, much of the impact it doesn't impact us directly. In some respects, it actually saves us some dollars when that happens. We are recognizing that where we have put grants in place for these organizations, we're allowing them to keep those grants so that they can deal with some of the costs that they have occurred in planning the event thus far, and to allow them to have a bigger and better festival next year or later this year where possible. So obviously, as you can appreciate, I mean, everything's been moving very quickly since the middle of March. As new announcements get made by the provincial and federal governments, municipalities are responding to them in an appropriate manner. So obviously, this has been something we've been talking about for a while, and then having more recently the conversations with the local organizing committees of these festivals, and trying to make sure that, most importantly, those festivals that rely on volunteers are respecting the time of volunteers, as well as the financial contributions of many of their corporate sponsors who they want to maintain a positive relationship with for future years. So really, any of the tickets that have gotten sold have not been for city-run events. Most of our events are free and open to the community. There are some that are happening later in the summer, and those festivals right now are still scheduled to continue. If something changes with those, obviously there'll be an opportunity for people to get refunds for any tickets that have been purchased for city-run activities. So you can certainly go to our website, www.kitchener.ca/COVID-19. It has all the latest information about COVID and how it's impacting the community. It talks about financial remedies, for example, for people who may not be able to pay their taxes or their utility bills right now. It talks about event cancellations. It talks about good, social distancing practices. Talks about the facilities that are closed. All that information can be found in this one location. Again, that's www.kitchener.ca/COVID-19. Well, not any of the large events, but I should talk to you about something I just launched yesterday, which is a program to really celebrate all the good things that are happening in our community during these challenging times. And it's something called hashtag Kitchener Says Thanks. And in fact, if you go to our same website, but instead go /Kitchener Says Thanks, you'll be able to find out more information about the program. We're doing two things. We have a poster that you can decorate, and we're encouraging people to then share it with us and social media with that hashtag. And talk to us about the things you're thankful for. It might be grocery store workers. It might be the amazing people in healthcare and first responders that are involved with the COVID-19 response. It might be your neighbor who's just reached out and recognized that you need a little bit of extra help because perhaps you're an older adult. So that's one aspect of the program. But the other one, speaking to events, is we're actually twice a week going to be having virtual concerts with some of our local amazing talent. So on Tuesdays mornings at 11, we'll be having children performances. And on Thursdays at 7 p.m., we're going to have all ages entertainment for an hour that's going to be broadcast via Facebook. And this is really a way to not only support our local talent, but also bring the community together and just say thanks to everybody who's helping us get through this difficult situation. I think what's important for all of us to remember is we're all in this together. Yes, I recognize this is a challenging time for Kitchener residents and all Canadians. But the reality is we are making a difference. By staying home, we literally are saving lives. The spread of COVID-19, the curve is being kept down in Canada. And every time we're able to do that, it means that we're making a positive difference. So while I know it's hard, yesterday the premier announced that the province's emergency order is going to continue for another 28 days. But this is so critical, and so I just urge all of your viewers to please pay attention. Stay home unless absolutely necessary. Only go out for food once a week, a medical appointment, or getting medication from the pharmacy, or if you're employed in a critical industry that still requires your services. If you find that for your mental or physical health, it's important to get out for a walk, that's okay. But we urge you, don't drive somewhere, walk in your neighborhood, go alone or with somebody else. Don't walk in a group and practice social distancing while you do that. And by all sticking together, I believe, we are a resilient community. We're going to come out even better, even stronger, a more caring, compassionate society when all this is done.